Pre-funking, or pre-gaming, as it is referred to in America, became a common practice in the 1990s as an unintended consequence of lobbying efforts by Mothers Against Drunk Driving to increase the minimum age to purchase alcohol, laws that prohibit happy hours, and university policies that prohibit drinking in stadiums and arenas. Today on Frisky Discs, we'll do a little pre-funking as we bring you part 2 of our Maximum Faves of 2017.
Welcome to Frisky Discs. I am your host, Kelly.
I'm Matt.
This is Fancy Boatwright.
And this is Tim. It's March 23rd. We're headed off to see one of my Maximum Faves, the Iowa Wild, tonight. And while we're doing that, we're going to kind of go through our back half of our best of 2017, or Maximum Faves of 2017.
Faves. The real question is why we don't call it the back 9. I know that there's not 9 of them, but...
God, if there was 9, it would last years.
That would have been... We should have really thought it out.
It'd be like...
We should have done at least 9 instead of doing 8.
It'd be as miserable as that time you guys did the back 9 when it was like 105 degrees and you guys were so grumpy.
Oh, man.
It was really nice when we were there on a nice, not 100-degree day.
I know. It was like... It's not awful. It's beautiful. Come back.
How many of these games have we been to now, as a group?
Several.
Yeah.
3 this year.
Is this the third we've done this season?
This is the second.
This is second, yeah.
Second we've done
this
season.
Yeah.
This is the third
3
I've been
sounds
to
high.
this season. That's more accurate. This is the third I've been to this season.
Must be about my 9th. Hockey's the only sport I love more than disc golf. Matt and I actually went disc golfing today.
We went to Crevaro.
Yeah, it was Matt's first time. What'd you think, Matt?
It's pretty good. I mean, like I said when we were leaving, I think if they built a wind wall or something between it and the road, there'd be a lot less of the cross breeze coming off that highway.
Less of the noise, too.
Yeah.
They usually at Crevaro use a headset, so it's not that big a deal. I'll listen to music or a podcast.
Super short holes, but...
Long enough that you were sore the other day.
No, the other day we went to Grandview.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you just do 9?
We did 11.
11.
Never forget.
I already forgot what we were talking about.
Oh, man. That's okay.
I think you would enjoy women's gymnastics if you gave it a try. I'm just saying.
I like men's. They're way more powerful.
Gymnastics overall. I'll give you that.
Actually, when I used to watch wrestling, I always wondered why don't gymnasts get in, like, the light heavyweight division?
Huh?
So I was at a bar on Patty's Day, and they were showing something on the TV, but it was the furthest TV from me and a low-quality one. And I'm like, it's either gymnastics or wrestling. All I can see is the unitard.
Somebody's wearing spandex, and they're jumping around.
I couldn't tell, and then they let me know
it could just be a party. I don't know.
They let me know it was gymnastics, but there was wrestling on right before I got there.
Oh.
At Grandview the other day, was it the first or second hole? I hit that tree, and it was like...
Hit it.
Boom! And it, like, shot my disc off exactly where I needed it to go.
You, like, skipped
it was like,
off
that
the
was
tree
the best, yeah.
And it just carried it.
Yeah, it did. It was
That
amazing.
was nuts.
It really did help me out.
With the lady.
With the lady.
Well, now we're going to do this. So, I was at Grandview the other day. It was Saturday. I was playing a quick 9, which turned into 11. Never forget. Anyways, so I was going from hole 6 to hole 7. And I see this car stop. This lady gets out of the car, jumps out of the car. And after she jumps out of the car, the dude in the car is just yelling at her. It sounds like he's saying lady, but it also sounds like he's yelling other stuff. So it was like, oh, great. Now I'm going to walk into a domestic. I kind of ignore it, just go on to the next hole. But from 7 to 8, I'm going to cross their paths. There's no way to avoid it. I was just hoping they would leave. Well, right when I get to hole 7 to go to 8, which is right next to the basket, dude jumps up out of his car. I'm like, oh my God, no, it got worse. Turns out they were just looking for their dog. The dog was up at that, what are they called? The grill spots that you can rent out. Shelters, there you go. So it turned out not to be as big an issue. Anyways, how about we do get to the Maximum Faves? We'll get a couple in now before the game. How about we go with TV show?
Is that not on your list, Matt?
No, it's on my list.
Yeah, I told you the categories.
No, it's on my list.
Actually, I don't think I told Nicole the categories, but...
No, I didn't know that.
She'll come up with something.
I really liked, what is it called? It's from 2017, but I consumed it in 2018, so a little bit rule breaking here. But it is The Good Place. It's an NBC show made by the same person who made Parks and Rec. And it's a discussion of the afterlife. And it's just really fun, really good.
I'm surprised you picked a network show, actually.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect to like it as much as I did. And then we immediately logged into Hulu to watch the second season. And then it was the second day of watching the show when we were done.
Oh, right.
Because
I mean, Parks and Rec was...
after the first season.
Even after the first season. Back in the day, I would have said Parks and Rec was solid. But I just did that rewatch lately, and I don't think I finished out my rewatch. And I think I went to like season 4, and I said, you know what? I don't think I like Parks and Rec as much.
I love Parks and Rec.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure next rewatch I'll be like, what was wrong with me? I love Parks and Recreation. Got anything yet, Matt?
Honestly, the Doctor Who season that came out last year was pretty good.
Because it's the last one with the male? You white supremacist.
No.
What? Oh. So why?
Because they went with... the Doctor was really angry. Like, that's just the stark change from the previous Doctors.
Right. I'm really not going to get into Doctor Who with you much.
I was going to say, I don't really...
I've tried a couple times. I don't know.
No, it's just one of those series that if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, you don't. It's just...
I guess, yeah.
I've seen like a handful of the iconic
That's Matt
episodes.
nicely saying you're either smart or you're a dumbass. You're a dumbass.
I mean, I didn't say it out loud.
It
I thought it
requires a
very
really
loudly.
high intelligence to watch Rick and Morty.
No, it doesn't.
It's a meme from the
I know.
internet.
Oh, May? Actually, that makes more sense than meme.
It does.
It really does. My pick was Glow from Netflix. The show loosely based on, what is it, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling?
Yes.
Yeah.
Glamour,
They're-
maybe?
No. Yeah, it could be. I think it's gorgeous, though. You can look it up.
I'm not curious. But yeah.
Actually, I think glamorous sounds better, so maybe they should have hired you.
In before I was born time.
Yes, before you were born. I do remember a couple matches from Glow as a kid, but not much. Alison Brie's amazing, or that TV show. And I don't know why, but she was really great in Mad Men, and she's done episodes of shows I like, so I thought she pulled it off, that failed actor turned wrestler and like super into wrestling overnight. And then it's got Mark Maron playing Mark Maron. I mean, it's his basic personality he has, but it works for that show. It is gorgeous.
Yeah,
Remember what her name was?
He was a Russian character, but I don't know.
Which inspired me to start talking to Kyle in a Russian accent sometimes, which he really enjoys.
I bet.
And I call myself Vlad the Impaler because it's the only thing that sounded Russian to me, although, no.
I think I just consumed too much media because I'd forgotten that Glow was a thing.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Now that you said it, I'm like, I love that.
I was just flipping kind of through my queue and I was like, you know, if that was released last year. And the other thing, the reason I picked Glow too is because it's a more general. Like, I could recommend that to about anybody and I would think they would enjoy it. At least something in it. Whereas maybe there was something else I maybe liked more that I like, but also know that's because of me. Not most people would hate this, so I'm not going to recommend it.
I don't know, I have a favorite to list, but I know what everybody else's favorite was that I don't quite get.
What's that?
Stranger Things, which...
yeah.
I've watched both seasons, and I just didn't get it. The kids are cute, but I don't get it.
I don't think I gave it a fair shot. I think I watched 2 episodes, and I was like, I'm not into it. Tabitha really liked it.
Lots of people did.
I really enjoyed it.
I just
I
don't
haven't
get
watched
it.
season 2 yet, but...
Just not into it.
I watched season 2 in a night.
Right.
I think we finished the last episode the next morning because we decided it was time to go to bed. So we're going to do Podcast of the Year for our next category. So what do you guys have?
Well, you screwed up the intro because I think you meant Podcast of the Year not named Frisky Discs.
Oh, shoot.
Dang it, that was mine. Mine's a different one.
Mine's easy. Mine's undisclosed. I love it. Probably wouldn't. It's just they investigate cases and find holes in the theory and basically kind of question the legal system, which I become very passionate about, as Tim knows.
Yeah.
Especially injustice in certain states with corrupt police and just the way the legal system works. I'm going to refer to a previous ruling, and we're going to go with that, even though it makes no sense, and we think this guy's innocent.
Right.
So,
Matt, Kelly, got anything?
I don't really do the podcasting that much unless I'm in the car with my boyfriend, and we listen to a lot of, it's called Magic the Amateuring instead of Magic the Gathering. It was started by two girls who started playing Magic and decided to start a podcast, so it's kind of a unique perspective of, like, the Magic community, but they also are now technically pro players because they've gotten pro points and not changed their name. But that's completely unrelated. It's just a really good, like, take that's not too dumbed down, but dumbed down enough that I know what's going on.
Right.
If you're interested in Magic, the Gathering, the card game, if you don't hope for, like, rabbits out of hats.
So witches may not be interested?
Witches may not be interested.
They might
Planeswalkers would be.
Matt?
Actually, this brought up I didn't think I listened to podcasts, but apparently I listened to a narrative podcast. It's the Chroniclers of Darkness.
Sounds uplifting.
Not really, but they tell stories based in the world of
Just
darkness.
push the door.
Come on in.
Welcome, special guest, Shantell.
It's
Still
Shantell.
remembered her mug.
Yeah, she did. The
I did
only
not.
one that
The
remembered
only one that
her
didn't
mug.
have a mug here
Yeah, exactly.
remembered her mug.
So you were saying, Matt?
I'm a special guest.
You're a special
Yeah.
guest on the podcast.
Oh, hello.
Matt was just telling us about his podcast of the year.
Yeah, Chroniclers of Darkness. They are a narrative podcast that tell stories in the world of darkness tabletop role-playing game setting.
Gotcha. Hey, did you have a couple of those in the car earlier? When we went to go disc golf and you got your shoes out, you had a couple games that I'd never seen before.
Oh no, that's Betrayal at House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah, that's the one I was
That's a
looking
really
at.
fun game.
Is
we
it?
should play it sometime. It's like Clue,
Right.
but
Man, you better start talking about something else. Not a Clue fan.
oh, it's like Clue, but instead of trying to figure out who got murdered, you come in, you don't know who's going to be the bad guy,
Right.
and then you hit like a point in the table's turn, and it's a scenario.
And
So
somebody
like,
becomes the bad guy.
and somebody becomes the bad guy, and then the bad guy wins, or the rest of the people win.
Gotcha.
There's no like.
It's a cooperative game up to a point where eventually there's a mystery traitor.
So it's like, I can't think of the one that came before it, but the Friday the 13th game where one person plays the killer and everybody else are trying to get away from the
Kind
killer.
of, except the killer doesn't know they're the killer.
Until they
find out
okay.
they're the killer.
I got you.
You're all survivors until
A
the-
triggering event
yeah.
happens.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, it sounds like worth one playthrough at least.
I only think I compare it to Clue because there's a house.
Right.
Probably
you build it,
you
which
slowly
is pretty
build
cool. Like, no two playthroughs are the same because, well, statistically they might be
Right.
You have to
because
play a
you get
lot.
like the first room and then you have to pull a card and you can put it on this side or this side or
You
the
just
top
kind
or
of
the
build the
bottom.
house out.
Chantel, are you a podcast listener?
Sometimes
Do you have a favorite?
Ravinia.
I like Nicole's story about her parents.
So Frisky Disc,
Disc.
podcast of the year.
Podcast.
Is that what?
Yeah.
I
No, I'm
don't
saying as far as
listen
you
to any
listening to
other.
podcasts.
No.
Oh, gotcha.
Well,
That's the only one.
All right.
as the special guest, I think she's allotted a.
Hey, if she wants to choose this one, I'm okay with it.
I thought that's what you meant. Like, which one?
No, I didn't know if
An
you actually
episode.
listened to any other
I don't
podcasts.
listen to any podcast.
That's why ours is her favorite.
We'll take it.
That is why.
My podcast of the year was Questions for Lennon. As we all know, Lennon got bored of being dead in 1984, came back to life. Now he hosts a podcast where he provides advice to people that send in questions. And one of my questions was chosen. And the advice was somewhat helpful.
It's Tim time.
But I would highly recommend it. It stars Mike Hanford. He's from the Birthday Boys and Comedy Bang Bang. Basically things I like and watch. I think for now, we're going to take a little break, and we'll follow up with you from Wells Fargo Arena, where we're going to watch the Isle Wild versus the Grand Rapid Griffins.
And drink some beer.
Exactly. $2 beers.
$2 beer.
When I get back with them both, I'll never leave. I'll take an oath. I'll hide away, way down in Iowa.